The key to really healthy relationships, whether you're single and looking or you're in a relationship and you don't want to lose yourself, become codependent, or drift apart, is knowing who you are and being confident in yourself. So, whether you're single and hoping to meet your person, or you're in a relationship and reflecting on the journey that got you here, in today's episode, we're going to be covering how to navigate singleness and being yourself with confidence, and how to find and be with your person without losing your own sense of identity and sense of self. We're going to talk about what it means to be confidently single and confidently yourself, how to stay hopeful without settling, and how to use this season, no matter what season you're in, to become more of who you're meant to be. Because when you're more of who you're meant to be, then you attract and keep the best, healthiest relationships. So whether you're waiting for love, healing from love, or growing in love, this episode is for you. Hey guys, I'm Trish Fleckwell. Welcome to the Confidence Podcast. This is episode 664, Finding Your Person, Being Single with Confidence. But hey, heads up, this is not just for my single people. What I'm going to coach on today is also going to be really relevant if you're in a relationship or really deepening in a relationship. But I want to tell you the reason we are doing this episode was it was a listener request. I have a Lauren that reached out to me months ago with this request. She said, if you could do a podcast on being single in your 20s, I'm going through a breakup and it's hard. I'm bridesmaid in upcoming weddings, and putting a smile on when it seems like I can't find my person can be hard. I also feel like you could relate. It seems like no boys my age can keep up. And it makes me want to little myself and to make them feel more confident. I know this is niche, but I've heard your story from your 20s and it sounds similar to what I'm going through. Your podcasts have always helped me. I just did a half Ironman, which shout out, girl, way to go. As you guys know, I've gone through half Ironman and done an Ironman journey myself, and just love endurance sports, love challenges. So any advice? So one, I've had this request done so many times that I so appreciate the opportunity to go in. I want to start with some myths about being single. Now, maybe you're in your 20s, maybe you're in a healthy, amazing relationship and you're listening to this episode for a friend, or maybe you are having to date again after a traumatic breakup or a really challenging divorce, or something that was just unexpected that happened in your relationship. So we are going to talk about dating, but if you're not actively dating, I would really encourage you to still listen, because this is going to be relevant for someone that you know. You're going to be an encourager to those around you. This episode's going to give you confidence to build your singleness and shift the one of the things I've seen in my decade plus of coaching is scarcity thinking when it comes to dating. And scarcity thinking then creates this spirit of settling. And we settle and we water ourselves down and we think, I'm never going to find my person. Am I being too picky? And then you look around and you see other people settling, or telling you, even people overtly saying, you're too picky, that person doesn't exist. I just want to give you some empowering strategies for staying grounded, staying hopeful, staying true to your values and what you know you are worth in a relationship, not settling for anything less, and joyfully expectant as you wait and as you proactively pursue your person. Um, and before we go any further, I want to reassure you that being single doesn't mean being behind. And I'm going to say that again. Being single doesn't mean being behind. It's a season, not a setback. And some people's season of singleness is longer than others. I struggled with this. I wish someone had told me in my 20s that being single doesn't mean being behind, because everyone I knew, a lot of my core friends met their husbands who they're still married to now in their 40s. They met them in their teens at 19, 21. And I was like, what's wrong with me? I mean, I was dating people and I dated on and off and I was always the cute girl, but I didn't, I wasn't I didn't feel well sought after. I never found that person. I would meet people and I'd be like, well, they check the box of we like to have fun, but like spiritually we don't align. Or hey, they check the box and we go to the same church, but like they don't like to do the same sports as me. I don't think we would enjoy each other's company as much. Or like I kept meeting people that hit certain things, but not all of the things. And more than anything, I just felt behind. I looked around and everyone I knew, their season of singleness was shorter than mine. And if you paired that with my own body image issues, this limited belief and narrative that I grew up with thinking that I wasn't attractive, I had this fear that I wasn't pretty enough, wasn't good enough, and then it was reinforced with this, and here I am being single forever. Um, but I think I just needed to hear what I hope. Hopefully, what you will hear me say today is everyone's season is different. Some people have multiple seasons of singleness. Some people seemingly never. You meet your childhood sweetheart at 16 and you never have a season of singleness. And if you're listening to this, listen for a friend so that you can better understand some of what they are going through. But I want to let's just get rid of the myths here. Myths about singleness that are keeping you stuck. Something is wrong with me. I'm behind. I'm running out of time. Everyone else is ahead. There are no good men or no good women out there anymore. Maybe I'm too much. Maybe I'm not enough. Maybe I'm wanting too much. Maybe my standards are too high. Whoa, whoa. None of that. All of those are limiting beliefs and false. I coach a lot of my one-on-one private clients on how to date with confidence. And one of the pivotal things is we don't wait for the person. Don't wait for someone to compliment your life. Go build a dream life. Become a person so in love with their life that the right person is then attracted and magnetized to you. I went through the season of singleness and then I decided, you know what? I need to be so in love with being myself. I need to be so vibrant and alive with life. And I got to tell you, when I started dialing into saying, what does the best version of Trish look like? If I could just say from here on, if I just plan that my season of singleness goes for my entire life, not that I want it to be, what would I want my life to be? Now, how do I go live that? How do I go live out loud, live boldly, live like just as passionately as I can and look to become the type of woman that I want to be? Because the type of man that I wanted to meet would be attracted to the type of woman I wanted to become. And so in order to meet this quote unquote dream man, or the person I felt like God would have matched me with, then I needed to become the version of me. There were things I needed to work on. There was growth that needed to be had. There were insecurities that I needed to heal on my own and take my own proactive stance on. I needed to start therapy. I started coaching. I started therapy. I started development. I started taking my own goals and my own commitments to myself way more seriously. And I also stopped waiting around and hoping that I would run into somebody. I started being more proactive in my life with my own self, but then in dating. Now, if you haven't heard my story, the story about how I met my husband is that I started very much proactively dating. This was when, oh, I mean, Brandon and I have been married 13. Oh gosh, guys, I should know this. I think 11 years, 12, 12. It's been 12. I don't know. Let's just say 13 to 13 years. Um, so this was really dating apps were not as kind of central and core. They were existing, but I didn't use them. But I decided to be very, very proactive. Now, at this time, I worked in a gym environment, so I saw thousands of people a day, and my job was I was head of the personal training department, which meant I really was that like MC of the GM. I was literally probably drinking 400 milligrams of caffeine per day, over caffeinating so I could be hyped up all day, high fiving people coming in. I worked long days. I was working 60-hour weeks. It was all sales and commission. So the more energetic I was, the more I would rile my team up. We were crushing any sales. It was exciting. It was exciting. And so I knew lots of people, and I started saying, "Who do you know? Will you set me up?" By the way, I'm massively extroverted, but when it comes to like this being single and feeling desirable, I still had a lot of insecurity and limiting beliefs about myself and my worthiness there. And so this was hard for me. It was vulnerable for me to put myself out there in this way, to say, hey, listen, I'm ready to date. I'm ready to date seriously. Do you know anyone? Who do you know that's single? And so I started just talking to people. And here's where it became hard. Then you have to actually go meet these people. I had to go on a ton of blind dates. And I was anxious and insecure. And some of the best advice I was ever given was from my best friend, Melissa. And she said, Trish, dating is like going to the movies. I was like, okay. Because she's like, look, it's no pressure. It's first off, it's a numbers game. And I say this whether you're dating in person and doing tons of blind dates, whether you're online dating, it's a numbers game. So it's very much a numbers game. We start thinking, I'm too old, I'm too far gone, I've got too much baggage, I've got too much weight, I've got these complications. No one's going to want me because of this, this, and this. You guys, you've got to think about how many billions of people there are in this world and stop thinking small, stop playing small, stop saying, I've dated everybody. It's no different than when we're dieting or we're trying a fitness thing. You're like, I've done all the diets. We get so dramatic. We've not done all the diets. You got to find the thing that works for you. You got to find the person that works for you. And you've got to put yourself out there doing things that you love to do. If you like to work out, go work out a bunch and be friendly. Be approachable. Don't always have two AirPods in your ears. Make it so you make eye contact with people. Stop waiting for people to approach you. Be approachable. Have an AirPod out. If you want to date more, stop playing the games on the apps and actually say directly, hey, I just want to start meeting people in person, want to grab a coffee. Stop waiting 3 weeks of messaging back and forth and it being so dull and you spending a half hour at night every night talking to 7 people. It's exhausting. And start taking action. It's a numbers game of how many people can I get in front and how can I practice just engaging and meeting people and deciding who's a good match for me, what am I looking in for somebody, and who am I looking to be? And ask yourself your values. Knowing your core values, what is important to you, is so critical as you date. But going back to this, the way I met my husband was I just put myself out there. I asked people, hey, who do you know? I'm looking for someone tall, someone who's smart, someone who loves God, someone who's fit. And I had hired somebody who she was a good friend of mine. She was working for me, and she's like, listen, I mean, maybe, my brother. I could introduce you to my brother. We all make fun of him because he's a super nerd and reads a ton. I was like, sign me up. I love nerds. And so that's how Brandon and I met, because I put myself out there. And I want to state for the record, because I was embarrassed about myself out there. You may see me as a super confident extrovert, but the thing I've had to work the most on is my willingness to be embarrassed, my willingness to be vulnerable. And so it's not always easy, but it's critical to go if you're not meeting people and you really don't want to be single, you have to ask yourself, what can I do to put myself around more people? If you want to meet a man who shares the same faith with you, go get in a Bible study. Go volunteer at your church. Go be proactive in the place where you want to meet people. If you love skiing, go ski a bunch, but hang out, be available, be approachable. But I want to remind you this. When you know that you love your own life, that you're not waiting for somebody to complete you. We are looking for partners to complement us. What I was looking for in my husband was someone who would challenge me, someone who compliments me and challenges me. And Brandon and I do exactly that for one another. We are so different, for better or worse. We are so different. And it's a wonderful compliment. And it can be also a challenge. We challenge one another in different ways. We challenge one another spiritually, physically, emotionally, intellectually. And that creates a beautiful symbiotic complementary relationship where we're both growing both as individuals and then together in relationship and together in our parenting and our marriage. But first, in order to be, I would have never been ready to meet Brandon 2 years before, even though I was single. My season of singleness, y'all, was long. Now, my season of singleness was long, but I was working on my confidence in that time. And sometimes you work on with confidence by dating the wrong people, by getting to know yourself, by pushing, stretching your own comfort zones, by pursuing your goals, by running your first half marathon, then a marathon, by doing the things that set your heart on fire. And confidence is attractive. Now, Brandon at the same time was doing those things. And I really believe in divine timing. God brought us together at the right time. So while you're questioning your season of singleness, I got to tell you, I praise God every day that my season of singleness, I met Brandon when I was 27. I praise God because if I had met him at 22 when I was like, "Why am I still single?" At 24 when I was like, "Oh, why am I still single?" 26, "Why am I still single?" If I'd met Brandon then, I wouldn't have been ready for him, and he was not gonna be ready for me. It wouldn't have been a good match at the time, and we would have missed one another. So even though when you can't see the full picture, you have to trust there's something good in your there's nothing wrong. You're not behind in a season of singleness. In fact, this season is your season to be the most vibrant, alive, accelerated version of yourself. And the more confident you become in being single, in loving yourself, in loving the life that you're creating for yourself, even if you're, hey, like you're showing up to everyone else's weddings and everyone else's bridal showers and everyone else's bachelorette parties and then their baby showers and then their second marriages, all of that. Own your singleness. Own the season you're in. There's nothing more empowering than owning the season you're in. And that, guys, this goes for maybe you're in a season of struggle and you're working through some personal issues. Maybe it's a season of singleness. Maybe it's a season of chaos and you've got two kids in diapers under three. Like, there is something really beautiful and simple about acceptance and ownership of where you are. Because that when you take ownership and acceptance, you're confident. Confidence in any expression of it is attractive. It's magnetic. It's grounding. Have you ever seen, and please, just for the state of this example, I do not rank people. I'm not ranking attractiveness. But for the sake of my example here, have you ever seen somebody who maybe culturally speaking, you might see a girl who's a 10 with a guy who's a 5, and you're like, "How is she with him?" And then you hear him talk, and then you hear him interact. Then you go, "Oh, I get it." Because somebody who might be not as, culturally or societally by societal standards, super, 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 like, attractive, magazine attractive, a 10, their confidence can take them from being a 5 to a 10. Confidence is attractive. Likewise, you can have somebody who's the most physically attractive model person with 0 confidence, and their attractiveness goes down. Confidence is the it factor of attractiveness. The more you work on your confidence, the more you own who you are and where you're at and stop apologizing or feeling insecure for being who you are, for your height, for your body build, for the way you are, for your personality, for the season of singleness, the more attractive you will be to others. Confidence will shift your energy, this like natural, subtle, unconscious energy that you're putting out from desperation to invitation. Being single is not a season of waiting, it's a season of becoming. Who you become while you're single matters more than you think. I want you to truly think about this as an opportunity to become the kind of person you want to attract. Now, married people or people in relationship, I still think about this for myself with my husband. Right now, I have to think about this. Y'all, I think I'm 42. I'm 42. That's insane. I always used to make fun of people who couldn't remember their age, and here I stand. I'm 42, and I'm right now thinking about over the next 10 years, what kind of woman do I want to be at 52 so that I'm still this vibrant, interactive, proactive wife to my husband. I want a marriage that has that as that grows every year, that's exciting, that's better when we're 50 than we were when we were 30. But it's not just the marriage, it's who am I as a wife, as a person, as a mother, as a partner, as a friend. And so who I'm becoming really matters relationally. And you build the life you love for yourself before you build a life to share. And high value, if you want to be I always teach my clients this. I'm like, you're the catch. If you can walk around, this is not arrogance, this is confidence, to realize that when you are building a life that you love and you loving who you are, you're a catch. You can offer so much because you've worked through a lot of your own baggage and insecurities and you're ready for a really healthy relationship, really healthy partnership. And when you know that you're a catch, you don't wait to be chosen. You know that you choose yourself. And now you can be selective and have the standards and have the respect and self-respect, not to settle for somebody because you're like, well, who else is gonna, and there seems to be slim pickings. There's no such thing as slim pickings in 2025. There are almost 8 billion people in the world, and we have the power of technology in ways we've never had before to meet anyone anywhere. You guys, there's so much opportunity. Please don't settle. Don't settle on matching with somebody for your interests, for hobbies, for what you want their emotional maturity to be, for their faith, whatever you value. Decide what it is that you value and don't settle. And now, how do you stay hopeful without obsessing? Let's talk about this. You practice gratitude, gratitude for the life you're building in your singleness, or maybe the life you're building relationally right now as you improve the marriage or the relationship that you're in. And you can set, um, you can start, I would really start praying for your future person, or you can write even love letters to your future person. Now, and when it comes to dating, remember this, it's a numbers game. And I don't think, how did I lose track? Guys, I gave you a half a story earlier. The My best friend Melissa said that dating's a numbers game. My gosh, go back. Oh, so sorry for not fully completing that. So she said, listen, Trish, it's a numbers game. It's like going to the movies. Going to the movies, you can like a movie and you can go to the movie and you can say, it's an okay movie. I don't need to see it again. That's it. Or you could go to the movies and go, that was a pretty interesting movie. Good stories. I liked the storyline. It was entertaining. I'd go back and see it again. Or you can also go to the movie theater and you can go, man, this movie is not what I expected. And I don't know about you, if you've ever walked out of a movie, it's pretty empowering. I've only walked out of a movie one time, and I remember it was in college. It was just not what I expected. It was a waste of time, waste of money. It wasn't. It felt in a conflict with my faith, and I just walked out. It was empowering. You can leave a movie theater, guys. You don't have to stay. It's the same thing with dating. So once she told me that when I was dating, going back, this is back to the story about 10 minutes ago. I'm so sorry for not completing the story for you. Left you hanging there. Is that, look, dating's a numbers game. The more people you meet, the more people you talk, the better you're going to be socially at talking and engaging and asking other people about them, about getting to know someone else. This is relational building. It's connection. Conversation leads connection. Connection is what we want to create here. And connection creates confidence. Connection is that exciting. And if you just go into every date with curiosity, every interaction, or if you're in a relationship, every deeper conversation with that person that you are getting to know or that you're committed to with curiosity, that will create connection. And connection is what we're really all craving. And if you just take the pressure off yourself when it comes to dating, because right, every season of singleness, everyone's season is different. It's a different length and it's got growth and goodness within it. So now that we're not pressuring ourselves to find someone fast, you can also not put pressure on the dates of like, hey, it's just a date. I can't wait to see what this person's like. I'm going to learn something and enjoy something here. And it's either going to be a movie that I want to leave the movie theater for and I have full permission to cut the date short. It's going to be a movie that watch again, open to seeing it again. Or it's going to be a movie that I was like, oh my gosh, I need to tell other people about this movie. I can't wait to watch it again. And that for me took so much pressure off of it. And for those of you who come from a faith background like I do and who value your faith, trust God's timing. Trust God's timing without losing your joy. Remember that trusting him doesn't mean that you're just like, I'm going to wait for him to bring me something. You need to go make effort, put yourself out there. But as I shared with you, the timing of my relationship with Brandon, it just, to me, is just evidence of God's hand in my life. And so trusting that you're going to meet the right person at the right time, as long as you're doing what is within your control, which is growing yourself, improving yourself, building a life you love and being in love with your life, and then getting out there and living vibrantly. So listen, a couple journal prompts to close out with. I want you to ask yourself, what would look like for me today to live fully and confidently in a season of singleness? Now, I have a challenge for you as well. I want you to go on a solo date. Wait, ready for it. I used to do these all the time, and I have my clients do these. A solo date is that you take yourself out somewhere that you enjoy. Dress up for yourself. Go spend money on yourself. Go to a Ruth's Chris. Go somewhere that you go, hey, this is nice. And then show up for yourself the way you want someone else to. Love on yourself. Be kind to yourself. It's also really beautiful. I used to take myself to movies. I used to go to bars by myself and sit and read a book. And the more I got comfortable doing things that could be interesting and fun by myself, the more I valued myself. I was dating myself. The best way to be ready to meet the right person is to also date yourself. And that's where journaling comes in. I have all my journal links in the show notes here. If you don't know how to journal for growth and effectiveness and breakthrough, then I get my journaling mastery bundle. It's all in there. But then my power phrase for you as well. What if you're in a season of prolonged singleness or in an unexpected season of singleness? I am not behind. I am becoming. I am not behind. I am becoming. And you guys, before we close out today, I want to thank you for listening to the show. If you're not yet following the show, please hit that subscribe button. Share it with a friend. If you have anybody that you know that's single, send them this episode to encourage them. And if this episode spoke to you, whether you're navigating singleness or deepening your confidence within a relationship, I want to personally invite you to join me in the College of Confidence. It's my signature coaching program where we go deeper on topics like identity, emotional intelligence, attraction energy, and becoming the type of person who confidently creates the life that you desire, that then attracts others into that. Inside the College Confidence, which by the way is month to month, cancel at any time. You get access to coaching, workshops. I coach twice a week. Powerful community of people just like you who are leveling up in every area of life, from dating to career to personal fulfillment. Go to collegeofconfidence.com to find out more, to enroll, and to start your next level of growth with us today. I'm so privileged to be a voice of encouragement in your life. Come hang out with me on Instagram, Trish_Blackwell over there. And I'll see you guys next week on the Confidence Podcast.